Okay, let's call this meeting to order. Do we have any visitors who want to speak on any remarks or anything? Okay, it's 6 o'clock. Item number 1, to receive comments from the property owners concerning a rezoning of 2 properties on West Ocean Boulevard.
I'll make the motion.
This is just public comments. Okay, it's still 6 o'clock. Let's close that public hearing. Number 2, public hearing to receive comments from the residents concerning the application for a conditional use permit to allow public utility substations for Smartcom LLC to locate on 104 West 5th Street, Zone Residential Limited Business District.
Hello, members of the board. Appreciate the time given. I just want to, as a resident of Los Fresnos, I know I have many hats on many things. So just want to make sure that I'm kind of aware of the zoning and how you all see the future of Los Fresnos growing, because you guys have a big part on how this city is developed, obviously. I know the interest of Smartcom, they must have bought this property already, so they must be owning it and asking for a rezoning of it. Is that correct? Or what is it zoned now, and what are they asking to do?
Well, it's zoned R2 and R1 residential.
Is there a distinction between commercial and industrial that you guys use?
It's zoned residential limited business. So one of the conditional uses allowed is a utility substation like this one.
The reason I'm asking is because I know that corner is very important. I know that's on the 5th Street side of Los Fresnos, right? It's not on Highway 100, but for me I'd wish you all could see that as one main corner. I know there's already a substation. I'm not sure if it's AT&T or Time Warner that is next to where that other part that they want to zone. But for me, that's more conditioned as an industrial. So if anything, I'm asking for you all to consider where the industrial parts are going to be put in versus commercial parts, because we as Los Fresnos, so I'm hoping it'll grow. And if we start limiting and blocking small little sections of industrial here, commercial there, we're really not going to get the bigger picture. And what I mean by that is, there's a county building that's right there, right next to it, the county's been trying to sell for a long time. Obviously, it hasn't sold for many reasons. I can only speculate because if it's since it's an old building, I can imagine maybe there's asbestos or other things like that. So you're gonna be limited on the number of people that are gonna want to come in and buy that property because of the problems and because of the space and because of the limited parking that it has. So if we are able to use a bigger chunk or zone it for commercial as a bigger area, I think it'd be better for the city. Think about getting an eyesore off, because I know that's one of the few things that, whenever people come through Los Fresnos, they always say, it just doesn't look pretty, right? So we have a lot of old buildings on Highway 100 that we need to take advantage, if we're able to kind of figure out a way to redevelop that. And if that means somebody's willing to come in and tear down that building, not so much buy a building, we need to consider that. Now, that property that is being conditioned to the zoning or asking for the rezoning is right behind that property. I know it's a different owner, but as a board, I guess if anything, y'all kind of need, if y'all can understand how you need to use that space available to its highest potential. There's not very many corners Los Fresnos has that can sell that, and that's, that property there is kind of tied to everything else that's around it. So if we let another substation come in where AT&T is at, or Time Warner, then we're kind of needing to figure out, is that where our industrial area is going to be? Because if that's where it's going to be, then we need to think about that whole block being considered for that, and not just one property. Or if it's a whole commercial, if it's going to be a commercial, that whole block, because that whole block really is tied to Highway 100, with Fifth Street to Highway 100. So as you guys start looking at the needs of Los Fresnos, if y'all can consider that, how that Fifth Street area from the railroad tracks all the way down to the Fifth Street on the other side of Arroyo Boulevard, how all of that kind of should get tied to Highway 100 if possible for future expansions, future commercial real estate opportunities. For me, it's about sales tax, right? That place isn't really going to give us much of any sales tax. It's going to be taxed once a year. Is that property going to be used to its fullest potential? And that's the only main thing that I'm concerned with, because we are limited in our space and we have a limited city zone. How is the city going to grow? And if it's going to grow as an industrial little part, then if that's the case, then make sure it all gets zoned industrial, so that we tell, or you guys tell anybody coming in, this is the industrial little zone. But is that what we want to do right in the heart of Los Fresnos? Right? Things like that can get moved to the outskirts. Things like that can be reconsidered in other areas. But we're taking a very important piece of property there, and they're asking for it to be zoned for a purpose of industrial use. So that's something that I just need you all to consider, and consider the value of that property. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I'm Alan Yoder, and I'm with Smartcom. Thank you for listening tonight, and we appreciate the opportunity. We're not trying to do anything industrial at that location. The residential limited business requires you to put something that is small and looks, I don't know if I'm allowed to show you exactly what we're trying. Oh, they do? Okay. So the building picture, it's just small, kind of looks like a house, so it doesn't interfere with the local area. If you try to tie it in with Highway 100, like this gentleman was referring to, that would mean you would have to close the alley that is between Highway 100 and Fifth Street, which I don't know what utilities are serving all those businesses, whether or not that's even a possibility. But we're working to bring fiber optic communications to the city of Los Fresnos. We currently do business with the school district and with the city itself, and fiber optics has a distance limitation with how long the light waves can travel. So we're looking for a place near the center of town to put this facility. It's an unmanned facility, so there's nobody there. It's just going to be for equipment to be inside the building. Anybody have any questions?
They'll have to take your own action.
Anyone else want to comment? Okay, it's 6:09. Item number 2 is closed. Item number 3, public hearing to receive comments from the residents concerning a variance request on rear yard setback requirements from 25 feet to 10 feet for the Woods subdivision.
name is, there we go. My name is Julio Cerda. I'm with the South Texas Infrastructure Group representing Mr. Rufino Garza. We had sent a letter August 11th having to do with the setback. We're requesting on this subdivision, we're looking at approximately about, it's 240 acres. We're looking at about 840 lots. We're trying to see if we can modernize the subdivision to make it look nice. We got several prospects already coming in and looking at it. We're starting with phase one. We looked at this last time, I think the preliminary plat that was presented before you guys. We're part of the subdivision. Well, 3/4 of the subdivision is in Los Fresnos. The other quarter part is in the Indian Lake side. What we looked at was that in working in other areas of the metro area, which includes Brownsville, Harlingen, McAllen, Mission, Edinburgh area, there's some setbacks that we'd like to see if Los Fresnos would be willing to work with us on the back setbacks. Currently, the ordinance is calling for a 25-foot minimum setback, and we're asking to see if it's possible that we can go in with a 10-foot setback in the back. The squared lot, the way it is, in talking to other builders, and I think that, Mr. Garza, you spoke to some of the builders also, right? And they said that it was a little bit too square and it was tough for them to extend. Yeah. It was tough for them to extend their living areas or their bedrooms, depending on how they would configure the houses. So it would basically just keep them to a square house that would not allow for some type of design within the house. That was their biggest deal with, to be able to get more square footage out of it, basically. And again, I mean, we're coming before you to request to see if we can use the 10-foot setback for this subdivision, phase 1, 2, and 3. You want to speak or? Okay. No, that's it. If you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer. Thank you so much.
Anyone else want to speak?
By setback, what do they mean? How far they can get to the back of that property? I live on Alvarez Court. I like it. I invested in this town many years back. One of the things that everybody comes to my house and looks at, they notice when they're coming from the Villa Los Pinos or others, some of those neighborhoods that other people, my friends have bought at, they look at my backyard and they say, you have a lot more land than we do. So you got to consider that too, right? You got to consider the size of properties you're going to be allowed to be putting on. One of those things is I don't know how much more land they will get to save off of that setback. I don't know how the streets would be divided, if that would allow for another street or so to be added in. I'm not sure. I haven't seen any plats. But if anything, just kind of consider that. People do see that and they understand that. Do we really want to jam people in that much as well? That is your choice. There may be some needs. I don't know the width of the properties that they're proposing or the lengths of them. But at the same time, just do we want to cram people into a place where they may not have enough backyard for their kids? Maybe a pool, and that's about it. I have no other questions, or do you all have any other questions? Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else want to speak? Okay, it's 6:15. This public hearing section is closed. Action item number 1, consider an action to approve rezoning of the properties located on West Ocean Boulevard.
Motion to
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed?
Nay.
Motion carries. Item number 2, consider an action to approve the application for conditional use permit to allow public utility substation to locate 104 West Fifth Street, zoned residential limited business district. What they want to put there is already, I mean, it already fits the criteria to fit there, right?
Yes.
So they're really not asking for anything different.
No, one of the things that's allowed to be built there with a conditional use is a utility substation like what they're proposing, as long as it blends in with the residential homes around it. There's no like antennas or anything like that. It's just the structure the picture that's in here, which is this one.
So it really doesn't, I mean, they're not asking for anything that they're not already allowed to do there other than meet the criteria of the neighborhood, right?
Correct.
Recommend for approval.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed?
Javier?
Motion carries. Item number 3, consider an action to approve a variance request on the rear yard setbacks requirements for 25 feet to 10 feet at the Woods subdivision. Haven't we already approved the preliminary plats and everything on this?
Correct, we did.
I mean, the whole subdivision's already been approved, isn't it?
Only the preliminary.
Only the preliminary? With the 25-foot setbacks.
Correct.
What are the lot sizes?
The lot sizes are 50 or 60 by 125?
61 by 105,
They vary. The width is 60 and then some are 120.
120, 105, it varies. But it's mostly 60 by 105.
The ones that we usually allow a setback like that would be the ones on the cul-de-sac.
It's only the ones on the cul-de-sac because they're irregularly shaped.
Yeah.
And we'll give them 15, usually,
But usually the other ones, we keep it at
25. So here they're proposing the entire subdivision to be 10 feet instead of the 25 in the rear.
Yeah, well, I mean, 10 feet would be the maximum that we would love to have, based on
You can come up here.
requests by builders, by clients that are coming in to town. And the master plan community, what they wanted was just to be able to expand a little bit more than just the 25 feet, because that restricts them to keeping it square. So in the master plan that they had, most of these builders are looking at buying 10 lots at a time, so they want to be able to have different designs so that they can build out. So it doesn't necessarily have to be the 10 feet. We can work with 15, right? So if it's at all possible, so we can basically make it work for them and for us and for you all, as a master plan community at the Woods at Los Fresnos, that would be really good.
So are we talking about where the house, the front of the house sits from the curb? Are you saying sit back 25 feet? or-
That one stays. The 25-foot front setback stays, because that way it's uniform, right? The front uniformity is the best thing that you can have in any subdivision.
Right.
But typically in other areas, as Los Fresnos, like metro areas, the setbacks are either 10 feet or 5 feet in some instances in Brownsville, but 10 feet is the normal that they use in setbacks in the back.
Yeah.
Where you can build your structures up to, right? You can do a swimming pool within your setbacks, you can do your structure whichever way that you can around the swimming pool if you need to, but you can expand it and come up with different designs for your home, which is kind of like what we're trying to promote for the Woods here in Los Fresnos, is for the builders to come in and come up with different designs with pools or without pools or whatever type of backyard that they would like. But to answer your question, it's only the back setback, sir. The front stays the same.
So where the fence is in the back, instead of leaving 25 feet for the back of the building, it's gonna be only 10 feet, and then the structure can have more of a, like if they do like an L shape, they'll
Yes.
still,
Yes.
does that make sense?
Yeah, yeah.
There's a lot of designs nowadays that people are wanting to build their patios, their outside patios, and they do them in an L shape wherever they want to. And then they kind of put the pool right next to that patio. And the pool, of course, you have to build it within your setback unless you ask for a variance. So in order for the builders to have that freedom to be able to build their designs within the setbacks, that's the request that they basically asked us as clients, right?
So how big are the houses?
The
Generally?
houses would be generally anywhere from the 2,200 to the 2,700, depending on what shapes we can fit in within the lot.
And 2-car garages?
2-car garages. Yes, sir. Yeah, we're trying to make it into a really nice subdivision because that's our future, right? It's our future. It's the future of Los Fresnos. It's the future for this area, right? I'm pretty sure that the big boom that we're bringing in to this area with the 840 lots, it'll help the economy quite a bit. And we're looking at possibly having talking to the school district to possibly having an area there to work together with the school district and the city to have an area for a school and something like that, but make it into a full master plan. In this case, it's the first phase, and we still have other phases to go to. We're looking at a total of, how many lots, Victor?
333.
Yeah,
333,
the whole, including Indian Lake, it's 333 lots. So we got about 270 lots.
yes.
270 lots that are in the Los Fresnos property. And it's hard to sell 270 lots without you having to be able to have different forms of designs that you can have within the lots. So
So are we looking at from middle to upper class, or are we just looking from middle class to lower?
no, we're looking to middle to upper class. What we're trying to do is basically build up to the larger lots, right? We're doing the middle to upper class on the lots. We have the 1 acre to half acre lots on the north side of Whipple Road. In the very beginning, when we started this project, we thought all of that property was in Los Fresnos, and we designed it that way. And then we got notice that the north part of Whipple Road was not in the city of Los Fresnos, so we kept the design the same way that it was there. Because of the scenery that we have back there with the Resaca, we have to take advantage of that. Of course, the half acre and the 1 acre lots, those are even higher, right? That's the upper end. But yeah, we want to keep it from middle to the upper side of the type of homes. And that's, i.e. the need for the different types of designs within the property.
Because that seems to me like you're reducing 25 feet, I mean, and that's already small. Because I have lived in a neighborhood like that where they build tract housing, and then if you take away 25 feet, all that's left is so much land. And people, young families, they're looking for yard, especially backyard, where they can have pools,
And
swings, whatever else. But
Yes, sir. And it's not a lot of families. Now, a lot of families, what they're looking is at different types of designs with their homes. Having gazebos and being able to expand their barbecue areas, right? And to be able to build their pools with the barbecue areas at the same time as they built their home. There's a lot of Generation Zs, like Mr. Trevino there that comes up and tells me he doesn't want to buy a lot, he wants to buy a townhouse, because that way he doesn't have to mow any yards. So we got a lot of different people, right? And the current clients that we have as builders, that's basically what they would like, is different ways to put designs within the property. Some are gonna have, 20 foot, 15 foot from the back, or 20 foot from the back, depending on the design, whatever the builder wants. But the norm of the builder, he doesn't want to do a cookie cutter house. He doesn't want to go in there and just do a square house to every lot. He wants to have a different design for every single property. So,
So you know, if you read Mr. Milam's notes on the cul-de-sacs that we gave the 15 feet here on Feather Ridge, all of these have 25. It's just the cul-de-sacs that have 15. We have had issues, and I think there was one like 2 months ago that they request a variance for the setbacks on the storage room. Yeah, that one. So just so y'all know, we've had issues with that because the building is so far back. When they go in to put a storage or any type of structure in the back, if you remember, we had one of those, and it was 15 feet. But it was the corner lot was kind of irregularly shaped. These are going to be all square shaped, so just so you guys know.
So, again, it doesn't necessarily have to be the 10 feet, we can work around maybe 15, but, whatever the wishes of the commission. Any other questions?
Make a motion to deny.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 All opposed? Motion carries. Item number 4, action item number 4, action to approve the preliminary plat for Jacqueline subdivision, section 2.
Make a motion to approve.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Consider an action to approve the minutes from the August 15th, 2020.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye. Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. This meeting is adjourned.
Vice Chairman and Chairman, the back of the page, number 6. Yeah, sorry. So right now, Mr. Walsdorf is president and Gordon is vice chairman. Chairman and vice chairman.
Can we do it all in one swoop?
Sure.
A
you can-
motion that it stay the same?
There you go. Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.